Lou, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am doing all right, thank you. Yeah, pretty
COVID
good.
not COVID not getting you too down.
No, I mean it's a very strange time, but I've just kind of been leaning into the solitude actually. I'm in lockdown on my own and yeah, it's it's been a very interesting time.
Yeah, I bet. Um, so we've known each other for a while, but I'm so happy that you're our next feed presents because you seem to be involved with lots of different things, bamboo smoke and jam sandwich. We'll talk about all of those, but yeah, I guess if you could give us a brief overview into what you're doing at the moment, who you are.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you for inviting me for a start. I what am I doing? Well, so on the artist side, I'm a singer and yeah, a singer and a lyricist, I suppose you'd say. And I'm part of Bamboo Smoke. There's three of us in the band, and we've just released a new single,
Hmm.
and we have a couple more to come. So that's really exciting. It's a bit strange not being able to see each other. It's very strange, actually. But
Yeah,
we did a live lockdown video, which is cool, which is a loads of new experiences during this time for me. I'm sure
yeah,
lots of us, all of us. So Bamboo Smoke, and then I run this live music night called Jam Sandwich, which
yeah.
is
I've been to one. They're great.
yeah. Thank you. Well, they're a lot of fun, and I really enjoy just bringing people together um, and hosting very friendly, inclusive nights. Basically, the kind of tagline is "Gigs with Heart."
Lovely.
So those two things, and then I'm also coming to the end of my training in sound meditation. So
Ah, this
yeah,
I didn't know. Are you
yeah.
doing sort of, is that like with gongs and things?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Gongs, bowls, voice, conch shell. I should have got them all out for you. All sorts. But yeah, sacred organic sound, which is so fun and really freeing for
Yeah.
someone who, I have dabbled with piano and guitar, but I never really stuck to it, teenage me.
Mhm.
So it's so much fun to be playing all these instruments and creating these sound experiences, having experienced how powerful they are myself.
And good to keep very zen at the moment, I imagine.
Yeah, it's helping loads. I'm chanting every day. Um, I'm actually chanting live on like Insta Live with my teacher. He's doing 40 days at 6:30 every evening. So I can share the link if you like.
Yeah, please do.
Um, yeah, and then yeah, so that's it really. And I'm starting to write some solo stuff as well, which is exciting.
Very
And
exciting.
that's sort of the nutshell.
Have you done solo stuff before?
Well, I've sort of had a series of collaborations along the way over the many years. Um, I'm not going to share the names, so you don't look them up. But my yeah, I suppose no, this will be my first solo project.
Great.
Yeah.
Very exciting. I wanted to talk more about the latest Bamboo track. I was listening to it the other day, really love it. It'd be great to hear more about it, what it's about and how it came to be.
Sure. Yeah, well, as often the best tunes are, I think, or the best experiences artists have making tunes, it tumbled out very quickly.
Mhm.
So we wrote it at the beginning of the year. We tend to go away for a few days right at the start of the year when everyone's kind of hungover and confused in London. We go to a cottage of some kind, and this was like a coach house above a stables, and we just sort of sit in a room and see what happens. And this song came out, which was really fun. Just playing the three of us, just jamming in this tiny little attic. And the song itself, yeah, it's called Maybe I, and it's sort of about um, wondering if you could do more, or could have done more
Mm,
for someone in darkness. There's quite a lot of ways you can interpret it. I didn't want to be too specific, but it could be being in a relationship with someone who's depressed, for example,
yeah,
but also how that kind of like teases out and exposes your own insecurities and shadows as well.
yeah. You've been for a little while now. There's been 3 of you. How did you meet Tom and Mark, the other members of the group, and yeah, also a bit about the sound?
Sure. Yeah. Well, basically, our sound, I think, has really evolved over time. Tom and I met a few years back, and we met sort of on a rooftop in East London, and he had been working like very much solo for a long time, and had like this library of instrumentals and soundscapes, and he was kind of looking, maybe without even realizing, this is my version anyway, for for a vocalist or a collaborator of some kind. And I certainly felt like I have all of these lyrics and ideas, and I don't know how to like take them further into the world or how to develop them. So in that sense, it felt like a really fortuitous partnership. Yeah. And the chemistry was there, and we started working together. It was very natural straight away. We became like firm friends. And we met Mark. We sort of realized basically what was happening is that when we were playing live, I was singing and Tom was having to do everything else. And there's quite a lot of layers in our tracks. Yeah. So we realized at some point that it was just a bit too much. It was a bit Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins vibe, you know? So
with the sort of the one-man band. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, 100%. So the funny thing is that we just put something on Facebook, and Mark came along for a jam, and we were just like, this guy, his energy is amazing. He's
that's how you found Mark, through a Facebook sort of
post. Yeah. So that was very, very cool. And at first he just played with us live, and then he became more and more integral, and he's been a big part of the evolution of our sound, actually. Well, I don't know what you would call it in the first place, and we certainly struggled with not wanting to be boxed and like, where do we lie? But the wonderful thing these days is that a lot of artists are quite proudly genre hopping. Mm-hmm. So genre defying, we hope, in some way, maybe. But I'd say we probably sit in the kind of groovy, alternative, soulful pop sphere. But tell us, you know.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like a good description. I mean, if you can't trust the description of the people in the band, who do you trust?
Right. You just got to go with your ear and your heart.
Yeah. You built this amazing community around Jam Sandwich Songwriting Circle. How are you keeping it going during lockdown?
Thank you. We are pregnant pause. We are keeping it going by doing some virtual songwriting circles. So that's been really cool. I was terrified when I hosted the first one, which was a couple of weeks ago, because I wondered how on earth it was going to work. We did a giant Zoom call, basically.
Just describe how a songwriting circle works. What is it exactly?
Right. So in real life, the songwriting circle is 12 artists sitting in a circle, and they play one song each. And I pick their names out of a jam jar, so they don't know the order. And the audience sit in a wider circle around that circle as witness, basically, witnesses. So the artists themselves very often play unplugged. It's almost completely unplugged. And I think everyone finds it quite scary, because if you're used to playing perhaps with a group or an accompanist or on a stage, just plugged in, basically, in your zone, and then suddenly you're in this circle with all these other artists who you like seriously respect.
Yeah.
People feel extremely nervous, which is really exciting and kind of raw and fun.
I have to say I've been to one, and it does feel very exposed and raw, like you say. I can imagine it's massively nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I think so, but hopefully in a very positive way. And people tend to meet, get on well with one another, and we do a little jam at the end where everyone plays together. And sometimes people play during each other's songs. They'll like come in with some rhythm or some backing vocals. So I really enjoy the fact that it's something that will never happen again, that group of people in that way, and they've never met before. So I like the kind of improvisatory nature of it and the risk of the whole evening.
Definitely. So as someone who's both an artist and also runs events, how do you speak with your audience, and how do you communicate with them effectively? You know, what's the best way you found that works?
Good question. I suppose my approach is just, I think it's really important to be yourself. So, you know, it's great to look at what other people are doing and draw some inspiration perhaps, but no one knows you like you, and no one is you. Just by being yourself, you are entirely original. So the best thing you can do, and the least confusing and bewildering and kind of effort, is just to be yourself and speak in your voice and share what's real for you.
Yeah, I think we're always talking about how people, whether they know about you or they want to, or they're about to discover you, it's always better to talk to them in your own voice and to come across natural and authentic rather than anything that looks too much like, I don't know, marketing or a PR team.
Right. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I think keep it real.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, which seems quite relevant now, is mental health. And I've noticed, I think from some of the interviews that you've done in the past and the tracks that you've put out, you refer to mental health either directly or sort of you hint at it. What's your philosophy around that, and how do you cope with the pressures that go along with being an artist? Big question.
Yeah, good question. No, I'm really glad you brought it up because I think it's really important, and it's very close to my heart, and I don't think we talk about it enough. And I can be guilty of that too. I don't think we create the spaces to talk about it enough. So art, music can be a really wonderful way for people to explore that. And I have never gone into a writing session intending to write about mental health, but it comes out because it's, you know, a part of my life, and loved ones and so on. So I mean, all of us, we all have a brain, a mind that we need to keep healthy. So I explore that through, I suppose it comes out through the lyrics, always ends up being slightly dark in some way. And yeah, I hope that people can relate to some of it, even though it can be quite subtle and abstract at times. My way of staying well and balanced is really checking in a lot and nurture. I feel like one has to really nurture oneself, and one's creativity. And I think the most, you know, very often I find I feel really creative when I'm going through something, so that's wonderful. But I feel like the most sustainable way of like going forward and living your best life is to keep nurturing yourself and coaxing yourself and learning about yourself. And I found as I've become more and more aware, as is the result of also from meditation and yoga, that has become a real portal to kind of creating the work and the life that I dream of.
Yeah, nice that the two go hand in hand.
Definitely.
I mean, like I said before, you've known us right since the beginning of Archform, the record label we set up, and Feed as well. It'd be good to hear, I guess, well, hopefully you found Feed useful. It'd be good to hear your take on whether you have found it useful or not, and also what you'd like to see from it in the future, because we're very much in a stage where feedback from artists like you is helping us shape the future of the platform.
Cool. Yeah, I have very much enjoyed using it. Don't really like the guys who run it though.
Yeah, I hear they're awful. God.
Yeah, so terrible comms. No, no, I have. I've really enjoyed using it. Being someone who has more than one thing going on, and isn't particularly interested in like trawling through the back end of Facebook Ads Manager, and just feels really quite overwhelmed by the whole process. I found it really helpful because I trust the app and you guys, and that you know what you're doing, and that you yeah, fingers crossed, that you've worked in this sphere for quite a while, like looking at it from different angles. Yeah, I found it really helpful in order to reach more people in a way that doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like you're sort of like outsourcing or
Yeah.
again creating something that isn't you.
Yeah.
It's just like helping to bolster and spread the good word.
And it's been great to watch, similarly, it's been great from our perspective to watch you guys as you progress and release more music. And, Mark came on board however long ago it was. So yeah, it's great that, I don't know, you can grow together, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
But just before we end this, what should we be looking out for in terms of future Bamboo stuff, Jam Sandwich stuff? What's on the horizon?
Okay, on the horizon. So on Friday, the 8th of May, we have a virtual songwriting circle via Jam Sandwich. So you can just check it out on Instagram or the website if you want to sign up and be witness. It's a very good lineup. I'm super excited about it.
Right.
So that's happening. And on the Bamboo side, we are releasing a tune, I think at the beginning of June, to follow Maybe I, which has just come out.
Brilliant.
And we are very excited about this one. It's close to our hearts, and it's called Are You Awake?
Ah, yeah, I may have heard murmurings of this one.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe I've seen it live. Have I seen it live?
I think you have.
Yeah, okay. It's a great one.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for speaking with me. And yeah, super happy to have you as our second only Feed Presents. Can't even get it right.
What a pleasure. Thank you so much. You've made my day.
Yeah, thanks so much, Lou.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.